Tracy and welcome to my first ever episode of Tracy's Bacon Challenge. In this show I'm basically going to pick different types of recipes that I've never made before and basically see if I can actually make it and see if it'll be a hit or miss, and I'd like to include you in it. Right, let's get cooking then. So today we're going to make profiteroles, which is made out of choux pastry, and then it's got like a cream, like a chantilly cream or however you pronounce it, and obviously the chocolate on top. First thing we have to do is turn the oven on, so it's preheated at 200 Celsius, okay? And there we go. So that'll be heating up as we start making the batter mixture. First off, we're going to have to put 200 millilitres of water, cold water's fine, into my pan. And then we need to put 125 millilitres of milk into the pan. And what we have to do is we have to gently heat it up so it's almost boiling, so you have to do it slowly. While that's heating up gently, make sure it's all the way down, I need to cut up my butter, which I have got 100 grams, and it's unsalted butter. Just cut it up into slices so that it will basically melt quicker. And the milk's almost hot enough now. It's starting to bubble slightly around the sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to place in the butter so that it doesn't splash us either. Would be a good idea. Stir it until it melts in. Right, that's almost combined together. And what we have to add is a tablespoon of sugar and a pinch of salt. So I'm adding that in with it. Stir that so it combines. And the sugar melts slightly with the last of the butter. Now obviously you can't have the temperature too high because otherwise too much of the mixture will actually evaporate and you won't have enough for the actual mixture. It's starting to boil, so I'm taking it off the heat. I'll turn that down slightly. We've got 150 grams of plain flour that we need to add to the mixture all in one go, and then you just have to stir vigorously. Okay? Now my pan's quite hot, so I need to use a glove. You just tip it all in, and then you have to stir vigorously and do it off the heat. Add it back onto the heat a little bit so that it can start to come away from the sides, hopefully once it starts combining a bit better. And there, you can tell it's come away from the sides. Take it off the heat again, and we shouldn't need to put it back on the heat now, so I'm going to turn my heat off and I need to let it cool down slightly. Now different people do it different ways. Some people take it out of the pan and put it on a plate for a couple of minutes so it cools down, because we need to add the eggs next, and you have to do that one at a time. And obviously if your pan or your mixture's too hot, it can scramble the eggs, and we don't want that, so we need to leave it to cool down now. Now that my mixture's cooled down slightly, I'm going to add the egg. Now you have to do one at a time, and I've got 3. Sometimes depending on your mixture you can tell by the consistency if you need another egg. Now this is the vigorous part, actually it's the most difficult part, is combining all of them together. Because when you start first mixing it, it doesn't really combine together well. It looks like it's separated. Right, I'll show you what I mean. If you see that, it looks like it's not going to combine well together. But as you keep mixing it, some people do this with a whisk, but I just find it gets stuck in all of the whiskey parts, so the blades and everything, so I tend to just do it by hand. It's started to combine together nicely now, so it's a nice still solid dough. Next egg. Time to stir again. This is partially what takes the longest, I think. Oh, God. It does get your arm going, doesn't it? You never usually have a dog around your feet, do you? But there, my arm's definitely aching slightly, and I've still got another egg to go. Now this is what your mixture is meant to look like. So it's a nice soft consistency, but basically when it falls off your spoon, but obviously it's like a slow descent. It's not like, it's almost like it's stretching. Right, now that we have our mixture, unfortunately, I don't have a piping bag. Some people have done it before where they've used a spoon and they've dolled mixture out. But I thought I would give it a go, and I've got like a sealable bag, and I was thinking about just like taking the very end off if I can get some of the mixture into it and try and pipe it out if I possibly can. So we'll see if that works. If it doesn't, I'm going back to the spoon and mixture. So I've lined some tin trays here with a bacon parchment. So I'm placing in the plastic bag over the cup. If it would come off. I might use the small spoon, it might be easier. Go. Right, so I've got the bag filled and it's in my glass. Let's see if this works, because I honestly don't know if it will or not, but I'm willing to experiment. Just make sure it's a strong enough bag. And look, see, we've got like a almost like pipe and bag sort of experience there. Look, see, it's got a little air pocket there, so it means I can cut off the end with the scissors if I can. What people say to do, you're meant to go push down when it comes out, push down, and then you sort of flick it away. Well, I don't know. Let's see if I can do it. Right, so push down. And then you're meant to flick away. And you have to leave gap in between each of them because obviously they're gonna spread. Try and sort of get them equal size if we possibly can. Right, I'm gonna try and make an eclair, so let's see if I can manage it. Try and get some of, ooh. See if that works. Right, now we need some water. Now that we've got the water, you just wanna dip your finger in, and all of these points you need to push down, because obviously if they're still up, then they'll catch and then you won't have a very nice looking profiterole. Right, I've done both trays and I've patted all the tips down so they won't catch in the oven. Now we need to go over to our preheated oven on 200 and stick them in, okay? And they need to be in there for a good 15 to 20 minutes. Start, so hoping that they're eyes. Oh, it'll be so bad if it doesn't. Oh. Right, anyway, while they're in the oven, I've got some double cream here. There's only 300 millilitres. You can do more. Obviously, if you have more profiteroles, which I do there, I could have had like 600 millilitres. Would have been better. But I've got 300 with us at the moment. And we've got some vanilla essence. So however much you like to put in, so I'll put a bit in because it just tastes nice. And then you need 1 tablespoon of icing sugar or confectioner's sugar or however you like to put it. So do 1 tablespoon. And then all you have to do is whip it. Some people like to do it with a well, I do have one over there which is like the electric whisks, but sometimes I just think it's nice to do it with your hands Ooh, come on, rise, babies, rise. Starting to get a bit thicker. Obviously, the better whisk you have, if it has like bigger, it'll make more bubbles and air into your mixture, but you work with what you've got. 1 second, my armrest. Hey, I think I'm so unfit. Oh. You can definitely smell them as the bacon, so you can tell that they're starting to bake. I'm looking forward to trying them. Oh, see, look there, my cream's starting to get there now. Yay! Right, my timer's gone off, so it's officially time to have a look at the results. They're definitely done. Oh wow, look at them. Now these ones are not completely done yet. You can tell because they're very light. So I am going to turn down the tray and just pop them back in. I hope them few towards the end don't get caught, but don't they look really good? I've got a utensil here, which is just to prick them so it lets out the air so that obviously the inside doesn't go all soggy. So what you tend to do is, still while they're hot, so obviously look at the base of them. Woo! And all you do is you make a hole so that you can put the cream inside. I've got a chocolate eclair! I've got a chocolate eclair! Look! They'll be so good to eat. Come on then, let's see what these others are like. Oh, they look quite nice, don't they? I don't actually know what to do with the chocolate eclairs, but I'm putting a hole in the end of them. I hope it works, because I don't know if you meant to cut them open or what, because I know some you can cut them open and fill with the cream. We're done with all the cream we've whisked. I was wondering if my cameraman would like to have a taste.
We are free tasting session.
Here we go.
You know what I mean, of course. Oh, that's nice, that like. Just tastes like the stuff you get from the bakery. Nice, isn't it?
Actually, it does. Once you've placed holes in all of them, obviously you have to let them cool down, because if you were to put the cream in right now, it would just like melt and it'll go and it'll all come out. So basically you have to let them cool down, and I'll come back to them. And I have got my makeshift bag and I even put a little implement in to try and help it make it easier for us to squeeze it into it, because obviously the hole will be able to go into the hole like that. Right, we're just about to make our chocolate ganache, and I've just used some evaporated milk out of the tin at the moment, because it would be better if you use double cream and things like that, but obviously I'm just using what I've got with this. So I'm going to heat up this evaporated milk, and obviously when you're cooking milk you need to keep stirring it as it can form a skin on the top of it. So I'm going to heat it up so it's nice and hot, and then I'm going to add in my chocolate, which I will need to break up into pieces. Multitask. And I've got a little bit of vanilla extract again, which I will pour in with it, just to flavour it slightly. Now that the evaporated milk's getting a nice hot, we're adding in the chocolate. Now that the chocolate's melted in with this evaporated milk, I'm just going to pour it into my glass measuring jug so that it can cool down, and that'll be easier to pour. Hopefully it'll thicken up a little bit if at all possible. It looks the right colour and everything, but it's just letting it cool down now. Oh, they're nice and cool. It means I'll be able to pipe them now. Fingers crossed. And then you find the hole that you made, which mine's here, and you should be able to squeeze. Oh, oh! a very good bag. It's not going to work for us, I don't think. Oh dear, wait. I haven't got hold of it properly. Unfortunately, that's the old bag because it was leaking with the nib in it. And I didn't transfer it into this one because this is what we did the actual mixture with, one of these bags. That is actually meant to be a piping bag, but obviously it just kept leaking, so it wasn't going to work. I did say it was going to be a challenge. And now it's going to be a bit more of a challenge because I'm going to have to try and get, without a nib on, the mixture into the cakes. This one's big enough, so it's not as bad. I can, ooh, look there, I've filled it with cream. Which will be a challenge. Ooh, look, it's actually gone in. Oh, I can see the mixture going in that other hole. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to give it my best go because the... Oh. Ooh. I don't think I can get any more full. I think it's gone up to about halfway and it's started to come out on itself. So I might need to make a hole on the other end to be able to get it to go in. Alright, we'll try this one. Woo! I was going to say something there, but I'm not. Right, so I've got one half filled. I'm sure I'm doing this wrong. People can inform me how you're meant to really do it. But that feels pretty much filled all the way along, which is a good thing. Now it's time to see if we can cover them at all in chocolate. Now I need a plate. See if we can do the chocolate or not. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I need a bit of a spoon. There's a bit of a spoon. It's still like pouring chocolate. That's not going to... See, because if I do that on top, it's just gonna run off. It's not really working. I've done the chocolate wrong, I know I have. I think you'd be able to pour it over the eclairs. If you had them in a pile, it probably wouldn't be as bad. Because I was wanting to try and cover the top, it would have been better with the whipping cream and I could have whipped it more. It isn't really working out, but I should have just left the chocolate off. No one would have been the wiser that I did it wrong. The choux pastry was meant to be the most difficult part, and I did that all right. Seeing as the chocolate hasn't really came out that well, I'm going to stick them in the fridge and see if that'll harden the chocolate up a bit. So I'll put them in for a good 10-20 minutes and see if that makes them any better. Now we wait. Now, the not so fun part, the washing up. Right then, time to check on them and see if it's improved them at all. Oh, it's not so bad, I suppose, but obviously it's still a bit wet in that, but I think it's time to see if the cameraman would like to have a try.
Right, let's see what all the fuss is about, eh? Because you have worked hard on it,
I
like,
have,
haven't you?
yes.
Good. Right, let's have a look.
Grab one.
Grab one, right, look at that. They look nice. Right. That tastes just like the bakery. The cream and that, it's even spongy like what you get in the bakery. Obviously that's a bit wetter, but it's starting to set a little bit.
Well, I would say the choux pastry was a hit. The cream in the middle was a hit. Trying to get it in was a bit difficult, but I managed. But the chocolate, not so much. I think that's more of a pouring one that you would pour over them rather than glaze them with. I'm gonna have to have a try of one of my creations as well, see what it's like.
You'll like it because it's the cake.
Oh, that is nice.
I think I might have an eclair later on, like, because it's bigger than the tiny one.
Yeah.
Have a cup of tea and a chocolate eclair.
Well, I think that's the end of Tracey's baking challenge for today. Obviously, I'd love for you to come and join us in the next episode. Just comment below on anything that you would like us to try and make, and I'll try and make it happen. And I'll see you in the next one.
I'm gonna have another one, maybe.